Here's a question nobody ever asks you. What if your financial problems have nothing to do with how much money you make? Think about that for a second. Because somewhere right now, there's a person earning $30,000 a year who sleeps peacefully every night. No debt. No panic. No checking their bank account with their eyes half closed. And somewhere else, there's a person earning $120,000 a year who is quietly terrified. Overdrawn. Maxed out. One missed paycheck away from losing everything. Same planet. Completely different financial realities. The difference isn't income. It's not luck. It's not even discipline in the way most people think. It's something much simpler, and much more powerful. It's the rules they live by. Today, we're going to talk about the minimalist money rules that keep certain people permanently financially stable, regardless of what the economy does, regardless of how much they earn, and regardless of what life throws at them. And here's the part that might surprise you: these rules aren't complicated. They're almost embarrassingly simple. But simple is not the same as easy. And understanding is not the same as applying. Stay with me, because this video might genuinely change the way you see money forever. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the very first time. This is where we break down the psychology of money, wealth, and human behavior in ways that actually make sense for your real life. If you're new here, subscribe right now, because the things we talk about here are the things most people spend decades figuring out on their own. And if this kind of content speaks to you, hit that like button. It helps more people find these conversations. And drop a comment below telling me, are you someone who earns enough but still feels financially unstable? Because I think more people relate to that than they want to admit. Now, let's get into it. The first minimalist money rule is this: spend less than you earn, always, no exceptions. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds obvious. That sounds like something your grandmother would say. But here's the psychological truth most people miss: knowing something and actually doing it are two completely different brain functions. We live in a world that is scientifically engineered to make you spend more than you have. The one-click purchase. The buy now pay later option sitting right there at checkout. The algorithm that knows you've been staring at those shoes for 3 days and decides today is the day to show you a 20% discount. Your environment is working against your financial stability every single hour of every single day. So the minimalist approach isn't just about cutting back. It's about building a life where overspending becomes structurally difficult. It means automating your savings the moment your paycheck arrives, so you are literally spending what's left, not saving what's left. Because if you try to save what's left, there is never anything left. The money always finds somewhere to go. The second rule is even more psychologically loaded. Stop trying to look wealthy. Start trying to be wealthy. There is a version of you that has confused the appearance of financial success with actual financial security. And that confusion is costing you everything. The new car on a car loan. The apartment that stretches your budget just to say you live there. The designer item that took 3 weeks of income to afford. These things feel like progress. They feel like evidence that you're moving forward. But what they're really doing is quietly transferring your future financial freedom to someone else's bank account. The people who are genuinely financially stable, quietly, solidly, permanently stable, are often the least impressive looking. They drive reasonable cars. They live in reasonable homes. And they are building unreasonable amounts of financial security underneath that ordinary surface. The third rule is perhaps the most counterintuitive one. Learn to be comfortable being bored with your money. We have been culturally conditioned to believe that smart money management looks exciting. That you should be constantly optimizing, constantly moving, constantly chasing the next opportunity. And that mindset has bankrupted more people than laziness ever has. Financial stability is deeply, profoundly boring when done correctly. It means the same savings contribution goes out every month. It means the same budget categories, reviewed quietly. It means resisting the urge to do something dramatic just because the market moved or because your colleague told you about a hot investment at dinner. Boring is not failure. Boring is the architecture of financial peace. The fourth rule is one that very few people actually practice. Build your emergency fund until it feels unnecessary. Most people stop building their safety net the moment it feels big enough. But here's the truth about money psychology. The feeling of enough arrives much earlier than the actual reality of enough. Your brain relaxes at $2,000 in savings. But your financial stability actually begins somewhere around 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, sitting untouched and accessible. That fund is not savings in the traditional sense. It is the thing that prevents one bad month from becoming a catastrophic financial spiral. It is the reason a medical bill, a job loss, or a broken-down car doesn't destroy everything you've built. Without it, you are always one surprise away from debt. With it, you are insulated from the financial chaos that ruins most people's financial lives. The fifth and final rule is the one that ties everything together. Make your financial decisions from your values, not from your emotions. This is where most people quietly, consistently fail. Because financial decisions feel emotional. Buying something feels good in the moment. Saying no feels restrictive, even punishing. And because it feels that way, most people make their financial choices based on how they feel right now, rather than on what they actually want their life to look like in 5 years. The minimalist approach to money says this: know what matters to you deeply, genuinely, specifically. And let that be the filter for every financial choice you make. Not the sale. Not the social pressure. Not the fear of missing out. Your values. When your spending reflects your values, you stop feeling deprived by discipline. You start feeling aligned. And that alignment is where financial stability actually lives. Here is the thing about all of these rules. None of them require you to be rich to begin with. None of them require a financial degree. None of them require sacrifice in the painful, dramatic way we often imagine. What they require is clarity. A clear decision that the way you've been moving through money is not the way you want to keep moving. Financial stability is not an accident. It is not reserved for people who were born into the right family or got the right breaks. It is the result of quiet, consistent, intentional choices made by people who decided, at some point, that how they feel in 10 years matters more than how they feel in the next 10 minutes. You can be that person. You already have everything it takes. The only question is whether today is the day you decide to start. If this video gave you something to think about, something to feel, or something to actually change, please subscribe. Because we put out content like this regularly, and your financial journey deserves consistent, honest, psychologically grounded guidance. Hit the like button if this resonated with you. It tells me this kind of content is worth making more of. And leave a comment below. Tell me which of these 5 rules hit hardest for you. Which one felt like it was written specifically about your life? And if you want to go even deeper, watch the next video on screen right now. It continues this conversation in a direction I think is going to surprise you. I'll see you there.